All right, I'm going to get to it right now. I'm going to get to the point. We're not going to dawdle. I have fun, exciting news, and I want to tell you about it before anyone even comes in the studio and bothers me or interrupts me or tries to tell me something silly. Hi, this is Natty Bumpercar with the Bumperpodcast. And the cool news is that I'm helping co-produce the Montclair Comedy Festival in Montclair, New Jersey, November 13th, 14th, and 15th. And I am so beyond excited. I have wanted to do a festival type thing for a long time. I've done benefits, I produce shows, all kinds of stuff. But finally, I don't know what happened, but something in me just, wait, that's right. I got laid off from my job. And then I had an anxiety attack and I didn't sleep for 3 days. And that's not good. But the good thing that came out of that was a festival, which is strange, but that's what happened. I got laid off on a Thursday, and I immediately just went into a shell inside myself in the corner, and I was kind of rocking back and forth in the corner, and then I rocked too hard. I bumped, and the shell cracked open, and there I was, right? And I thought, I got to do something. I can't just sit here and be sad. Let's go. We got to figure this out, right? And so I started thinking, Montclair Comedy Festival. Montclair has, they have Montclair Pride, they have the Jazz Fest, they have a literary festival, they have Montclair Film, the Walnut Street Fair. I don't know, that's different, but you get the point. There's a lot of stuff going on in Montclair, and there used to be a comedy club there, right there on Bloomfield Avenue. It was called Rascals, and it's not there anymore. So I said, well, that's strange. Let me research this to see if it exists. And I looked up Montclair Comedy Festival, and there was nothing. So I got super excited, and I went and I got the URL, MontclairComedyFestival.com. And then I went and I got all the socials. And then what did I do? I went and trademarked the name. And I don't know if you know this, but I actually helped produce a show there for 15 years. With on every Sunday night for 15 years, rain or sleet or snow, but not ice, and not big time sports games. Sports games? Yeah, sports games. It was great. It was at a place called Tierney's Pub, and it's on Valley Road, and it was upstairs. And when the pandemic hit, it kind of went away. And I think everything went away, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, there goes Tierney's. And the main person whose show it was, her name was Pat Grillon, and she went away. She just said no more for me, and she passed away, which is horrible and depressing and sad. But, I kind of didn't know what to do because it was her show, and for people who don't know, it's her fault that I started doing comedy again. Really, when we moved up here from Georgia, I had started doing it a little bit back there when we were in Georgia, but I had no intention. I was it's done with me, okay. And then I passed this place, and it had a big banner outside, and it's like comedy Sundays, blah blah blah, beer thing, whatever special. And I was like, all right. And finally I got up the gumption. I don't know, I didn't get up the gumption or the courage. I just finally remembered to pull in. And so I did that on a Sunday, and I went up. There was up these stairs, very steep stairs, very creaky stairs, and I got to the attic where it was, and walked in, and there was just this woman there, and I was like, hey, this is who I am, this is my story, and she was like, okay, immediately. That's what she did. And so then she gave me a date, and off we went, and really just so great, so wonderful. And then over the years, I just kind of ended up trying to be as big of a help as I could, just because I could learn and I could get more stage time and I could host a lot and I could, figure stuff out. And it was a great learning experience. But then again, when the pandemic happened and when she passed away, I was kind of like, all right, well, comedy was fun. Comedy was great. And I don't want to do it anymore. But then it came back. We started doing outdoor shows. Some people did a lot of Zoom shows. I only did a few because I found it very confusing to be sitting on my couch staring at people in their little squares and then they're like, all right, it's your turn, and having to turn on your microphone and be like, here's my jokes. Anyway, so what happened? Oh yeah, outdoor shows. And then my pal Suzanne, she found a place called La Serra Gardens, which is in the next town over. And I guess they have a stage in the back. And she was walking around one day and she just went to the owner, just went to her and said, hey, could we have a show here, comedy show? And I have no concept on how you do that, but she did. And good for her. Because we've been doing shows there for 3 years, Sweet and Sour Comedy, right? And so we've been doing shows there. We've been doing private shows. We've been doing benefits, kind of all sorts of stuff. And that's been wonderful. And then last year, I don't know if you remember, but I was talking about Jaws the musical. And we were producing that as Sweet and Sour Comedy. We were in it, and we applied and got into the New York Fringe Festival, which was super cool and super weird and different and scary for me because I had to learn songs. I had to learn lines. I had to sing songs, and they did blocking. What does that mean? Well, that's what you're supposed to be. What do you mean? When? At the specific time that you say that, you're supposed to look over there and be over there and then do that. And it's just like, oh, I have to put all of that into my brain, and it's like an hour-long thing. Perfect. Great. This is going to work out well. Well, it did. It was fun. And the festival happened, and it went great. And, it was a big experience and another big learning thing. And then we kept doing shows, back to the stand-up stuff, to the normal stuff. And then, I'd kind of talked about festival stuff every so often, but it just seemed like a big impossible thing. And then when I got laid off on a Thursday, and then I had the panic attack, I did all that stuff. I found a URL, and then I built the website, and all this stuff was just I figured out the structure of how I wanted to get people into the festival as far as them applying. And I got a committee of people from around the country, and so that they could watch the videos and fill out a rubric, and they would take the rankings from that, and we put it into spreadsheets. So we had all the rankings, and we were able to look at different aspects of their rankings, and just kind of do it from a more fair perspective than just, hey, we're having a festival. Hey, we're going to have all of our friends on it. That's something. That's fine. If that's what you want to do. But I was trying to make it just a more inclusive thing, right? I didn't even watch the videos because I wanted to be hands off from that. And we had over 100 people apply, which is bananas to me. And kind of in the same time as that, so I went to Suzanne on Monday or Tuesday, and I was like, hey, we're having a festival. And she's like, what? And I was like, Montclair Comedy Festival. And she's like, when? Next year? And I was like, November. And this was in May or June or something. And she was like, no, too much, too fast, no. And I was like, it's all done? Because in my head it was. And, we got all of the people applying, and then we started talking to venues, and everybody was super receptive. And we're 3 weeks away. It's I don't know what date it is today, but it's sometime in October, mid-October. And then that's in mid-November. And it's going so great. It's so weird. I had to build and develop an app for the website to pull in all the ticketing stuff from Eventbrite, which is like our ticketing platform. And they reached out to us to be our official ticketing platform. They reached out to us. It's weird. Who are we? Sweet and sour. And, had to learn how to do press releases. And then I built this cool app for the website also, where when the people got accepted to the festival, they have a page where they could go and they can actually just they can pick 3 skins and then they upload their picture and they're able to move their photo around in the pictures. And then it's like Montclair Comedy Festival and then in the date. And it's kind of like an announcement like, look at me, I'm in this thing. And people used it and it was great. And then once we got all the shows named and we got them all organized and all the lineups done, then we were able to, and seriously, I could not have done this stuff without Suzanne. I tell her this all the time. She was able to, I have big dumb ideas, but then she can use spreadsheets and then she makes it make sense. And so she was like, all right, I got all these people from this show doing this and ba-ba-doo, ba-da. So we could contact the people and send them out like show specific information. Hey, you're on this show. It's at this time. It's at this place. And when we did that, we gave them a link to another little thing that I built where they could build their own show flyer or poster with their, put their picture in, type their name in and move the name around wherever they wanted it to be. And that was, it's fun. It's fun to think up these things and then figure out how to make them happen. And then it's terrifying when you go to send the main emails out and the website just dies, crashes. And why did this happen? I don't know, just to keep me on my toes. So that's kind of where we are at this point. And it's exciting. And I'm excited. And my therapist was like, hey, this is kind of a lot. And I was like, yes, this is a lot. This might be too much. But my whole theory, my logic is, at least I'm not still in my shell crying and rocking in the corner. Like I took all of that terror and scary and whatever, and I was able to do this giant thing. And every so often, like I do kind of blink my eyes and go, what have I done? How are we doing this? And I've been just making lists and lists and lists and going down the lists and crossing things out. And we have volunteers. And I don't know, overall, people seem to be excited about it, which makes me beyond happy. And hopefully, the next 3-4 weeks are just going to go by without a hitch. Everything's going to be super smooth and super easy.
What are you doing? We're recording an episode now? So I didn't mean to talk over you. Hey, it's me, Aloysius J. Pig. Is it time for the Bumper Podcast?
Nope. No, to both of you. I did it. I managed to record an entire episode without anybody coming in and interrupting me, and I got to talk about the Montclair Comedy Festival, and we'll talk about your stuff again, I'm sure, because we always end up talking about your stuff, but today, it was my day, and I'm excited. MontclairComedyFestival.com.
The Bumper Podcast is an oftentimes hilarious weekly romp with Natty Bumpercar and some of his pals. It is family-friendly, clean, and ridiculous. Thanks a bundle for listening. If you love our show and you'd like to help support the podcast, check out our Patreon page at https://www.patreon.com/Natty Bumpercar. Also, pretty please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Share it with everyone everywhere, post about it on all of the social medias, or leave a rating and review. The Bumper Podcast is produced at headquarters in Coffee Can Alley. It's recorded, mixed, and produced by producer. The Bumper Podcast features contributions from Aloysius J. Pig, Rufus T. Rufus, Doodle Poodle, Robot, Trunks, and a gaggle of other silly rascals. Our head talker is probably Natty Bumpercar. We also have an absurd newsletter. Check it out and subscribe at nattybumpercar.com/subscribe. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Natty Bumpercar. Hugs and hearts. See you soon.